and welcome to Driversroom. This is the Festival of Speed, Season 2, Round 2 for Tier 2. This week we are at Alsace Village. Before we head down to the grid, we'll just take a quick look at the team standings after Round 1. In first place, we have Nonplus Ultra Mark II on 43 points. Now these points are made up from the results of Tier 1 and Tier 2 for all 4 drivers. In second place, on 33, we have Team Pegasus. In third, 1 point behind, hot on the heels, is Team Sega. In fourth, we have last season's reigning champions, Neon Knights, on 29. In fifth, we have Team Cadbury on 25. In sixth, JB Lads on 19. Not a bad result, they only ran 3 drivers out of 4. So a good haul from them from round 1. Team Firestorm on 18 in 7th, and in 8th place, we have Teammate on 13. Let's head down to the grid and we'll see how the guys got on in qualifying. In first place, we have Mr. Sean running on Racing Softs. Sean had a great drive after a poor start in round 1, working his way up into second. He'd be looking for more of the same, just maybe without the start this time. In second, we have Cafe. Cafe is also running on Racing Softs. He actually got picked up after round 1 and is now driving for Teammate. Just must be waiting for his livery for that vehicle. Cafe had a storming drive in round 1, starting in 10th and pushing all the way to the end. He took 4th. However, unfortunately, he was involved in an incident and was handed a 30-second penalty, which dropped him down to 11th. He'll be looking to erase that from the memory with a good, strong result today. In third, we have Jules, also running on Racing Softs. Jules had a fantastic drive in round 1, battling with Lioness Eve through most of the race. Just losing it in the end, just losing a spot to Sean, taking the last spot on the podium. He'll be looking for another podium today. In fourth, we have Murkoff. Murkoff's running the Racing Super Softs. Great quality from Murkoff. He'll be looking to head up the grid and shake off his disappointment from round 1 after coming in 11th. In fifth, we have Flapjack. He's also running Racing Super Softs. Solid drive from our reigning Tier 2 champion in round 1. Only maybe a slight strategy decision. Lost him 2 positions in the last closing laps. He'll be looking to get all that figured out today. In 6th, we have Nightmare Racer, also running on Racing Super Softs. Bit of a bad round in round 1 for Nightmare. Seemed to be struggling in the conditions like a few. He'll be looking to have a much better race today and try and pick up some good points for Neon Knights. In 7th, we have Coolio running on Racing Softs. Coolio didn't run in round 1, so this is his Season 2 debut and a debut for the JB Lads. He's switched over from Team Cadbury. In 8th, we have JC. Looking to forget round 1, had a really difficult start. Ended up not finishing. He'll be looking to get some decent points today to help his team, who are currently sitting in first position in the team standings. In 9th, we have Boss, also running on Racing Super Softs. Had a decent race in round 1. Decided to take a no stop on using his superior tire wear skills, saving his tires. And you'll be looking to do that again today in Alsace because it can shred the tires. In 10th, we have Jason. Jason didn't enjoy the conditions in round 1. Ended up coming in 9th. We're hoping to get a higher finish today. He is running on Racing Softs. In 11th, we have myself, Craig P. Struggled in round 1, not really liking the car or the conditions. Trying to hope to get a bit better this round in a bit of dry weather, but starting off in 11th, it's going to be difficult. And in 12th, we have Monroe, also running on Racing Soft. Really gutsy drive from Monroe in round 1, finishing 13th after a near race-long battle with Jammy D. Okay, so that's the grid for today's race. Let's get down to the action. So here we are, ready to get round 2 underway. Hopefully Sean get a better start this time round. See how he gets on. Cafe will be looking up the inside if Sean doesn't get away too well. Oh, and tons of wheel spin. Oh, and a bit of a drift from Sean. He's bogged right down. That's second, third, and fourth fall past him. He's falling all the way down to 8th. Jules is up into lead. Cafe close behind with Murkoff running behind him in 3rd. We've now got Flapjack in 4th. Coolio running 5th. Nightmare in 2nd. Monroe and then 4 wide behind with Sean, JC, Jason and myself. Oh, lots of tyre squeal going into there. Sean struggling again. JC getting battered about. Sean and myself having a bit of a coming together. We got Jason in 12th. Oh, missed a bit of a swap round at the front. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. So we have Jules still in front. Cafe is going on to the outside. All's good so far. So you got Jules on the outside. Cafe's taking the inside line for the right-hander. Oh, bit of contact, and Jules just runs wide. Down to 5th, just a bit of a racing incident there. Rejoined back with Murkoff in 1st. Flapjack is so big, drift from Flapjack. Oh, he forced Night. Oh, we need to have a better look at this. So we've jumped on board with Nightmare Racer, coming down towards the tricky right-hander. See Flapjack loses it. Oh, he gathers it back up and just slams into the side of Nightmare. We also collected Jules up in that. Nightmare with a bit of rear damage. Shame Nightmare was having a good run there. So back up with the leader, Murkoff. Pulled out a bit of a gap now after all the oh, this is a very tricky corner that. Braking downhill. Murkoff gathers it up. So we've got Murkoff in 1st. Cafe Del Mar in 2nd. Coolio up into 3rd. Great start from Coolio, starting from 7th, getting up to 3rd after lap 1. Mr. Sean's battled back from being 8th off the start after his horrendous start, and he's up into 4th. Could be another big fight back. Flapjack in 5th. And we've got Monroe up in 6th, having a great run, taking advantage of all the chaos around him. Oh, and the commentator's curse. I say it and he slides off. Sorry, Monroe, didn't mean that, buddy. So we now have JC in 6th, followed by Jules, Boss in 8th. Jason having a cheeky look around the outside there in 9th, but he's got to watch Nightmare on the inside in 10th. Monroe is now down to 11th after I jinxed him. And myself taking a Sunday drive by myself in 12th. Murkoff just trying to break away from the pack behind. And Coolio, oh, what? we seem to have lost Cafe. He's down in 10th. Should I rejoin him? Still in second. Car just goes into auto drive. Must have had a controller issue or something going on there. So that's why he's falling like a stone. The car is in auto drive. Let's jump back to the action then. So we've now got Coolio in second, followed by Mr. Sean. Put in pressure, having a look on the outside. Could have the inside line if he gets the brake in right. Now it just sensibly slots in behind, as well. I said, Murkoff had an issue through the right-hander. They've caught him right up now. The pressure's going to be on coming down the hill towards the start-finish straight. Tricky section of right and then left-hander. Oh, Codio just missed his braking point there and runs in deep. Now under pressure from Sean. Somebody having an issue. All seems okay. JC's up into 4th. Much better run from JC so far in round 2. Flapjack battling with Jules. Boss with Nightmare taking a look around the outside, and Nightmare's just got this front spoiler ahead. He's going to be on the outside. Oh, Sean caught the pair of them out there. Let's see what happened to Sean. So we're back, we jump on board of Mr. Sean, hunted down Murkoff, looks for the inside line. Oh, maybe not enough room. Oh, wasn't a big gap. They could have left themselves a little bit more space, each of the drivers, but Sean fell foul of the concrete barrier tape in Gran Turismo with engine damage and left rear damage. Should have to start the battle back all over again. So we rejoin the leader, Murkoff. Kudia had a very good run on him there. Oh, that is a bit aggressive. Not really the kind of pass we look for in the driving room. Possibly should have given Murkoff that place back there. Now JC is all over Murkoff. When JC backs out there, Murkoff had the racing line into that corner, which has now put JC under pressure from Flapjack. It's all kicking off in these first few laps. Murkoff runs wide and lets Flapjack, JC and Jules through. I might need to lie down after this race. So let's just have a run through the order here as it's all swapped and changed. We have Coolio in first, JC now up into second. I didn't mean to sound shocked there, JC. Flapjack in third, following him closely. Nightmare in fourth. Murkoff's had another incident there in the background. Dropping now down to 7th. It's all unraveling quickly here for Murkoff, unfortunately. So we've got Nightmare Racer in 4th. Boss up into 5th. Jules running 6th. Murkoff obviously has fallen back from those incidents to 7th. Runs just about gathers it up there from running deep. Not this time though, unfortunately runs wide there. Those barriers are unforgiving. So, and we lost Murkoff. He's had enough. Unfortunately, that lap was enough to do him. It was very tricky at this track with this car. So that promotes Mr. Sean up into 7th. Monroe running in 8th. Doing very well. Great run from Monroe this race. We've also lost Jason. Myself now in 9th. Just keeping ahead of the auto drive of Cafe's car there. Slightly embarrassing. So back at the front, Cudio trying to make a break for it now, bring a gap to Flapjack, who's got JC crawling all over him. JC have a look on the inside of the right-hander. just a little bit too far back, but he's carried the drive through. Flapjack just struggling with the back end of that RS01, dancing all over the place with that right-hander. But held it together. That is exactly what we want to see in the driver's room. Great, tight, clean racing. Millimeters apart, no contact. Ultimate respect shown. And if you like the look of it, oh, Flapjack has binned it, but good recovery. He does like a drift and recovered that 360 there. Only loses the place to Flapjack, sorry, to JC, and his teammate catching him up behind. As I was going to say before Flapjack pirouetted, if you like the look of this racing and want to get in on some good, fun, clean racing, come and find us on Discord at the Drivers Room, or you can hit us up on Twitter. It's at the Drivers Room. Always looking for new, clean races. So if you like this, head on over, and we'll always look, and there's always spots open. So back to the front, we've got Coolio. He's breaking away from JC. Just see him in the background there. They now have quite a gap back. Let's just have a look at the timing, see how far back Boss is. He's nearly 6 seconds back from JC. So they're about 8 seconds behind Coolio. Race starting to settle down a little bit now at the front. Lost a couple of drivers, so we have quite some gaps. And then in third we have Boss, being chased down by Jules. See Flapjack taking a lovely line on the inside there through past Jules. Nothing Jules could do about that there. Jules have another look into the right-hander. Nope, a bit too far back. Sensibly pulls in behind and away out the corner. Then you have Sean in sixth. Oh, Nightmare Racer has just had an incident. Oh, his tyres are toast. These cars on Alsace just tore these tyres to shreds. In 8th we have Monroe. In 9th I'm recovering for a spin again. And Cafe is still having issues. As we see Boss into the pits there. There was a couple more I just missed. Yep, JC has been into the pits. New set of racing super softs. Flapjack must have pitted a lot before. See, his tyres are very fresh. I must have missed that one. See Nightmare into the pits. Jules, oof, his tyres are looking very sorry for themselves. Boss has been in new tyres. Mr. Sean's been in for new tyres. Just seen Nightmare as he's come out of the pits. Monroe hasn't pitted yet, but possibly pitting this next lap round. I've had yet another incident and call it quits on them tyres. So Coolio, without stopping, has pulled out sizable gap now. His left rear's screaming in pain now. Might be able to get in and back out in front of JC. See, will he respond from all the drivers behind him pitting? And he does. He dives in. What has he put on? Back on. He's on the racing super. Oh, you see JC diving through there. That was close. JC getting the undercut on Coolio, hitting that lap earlier. Tyres aren't that different, only being a lap old. Flapjack in third, Mr. Sean in fourth with Boss for close company. Jules back in sixth after pitting. Nightmare Racer in seventh, Monroe in eighth. Cafe is... oh, he's back with us. I think he's finding out II has destroyed his rear tyres as he's struggling to get any power down there. Might see Cafe dive into the pits here, set of fresh boots. We are coming up to around the halfway mark, so his car really doesn't want to put any power down at all for him there. And myself in 12th, oh 10th, sorry. And going 9th as I just passed Cafe in the pits. No, Cafe is back out in front of me. Quick pit stop for the teammate pit crew. JC is now gone past Coolio and is in the lead. As we hear Flapjack showing off some more of his drifting skills. Mr. Sean's got a little buffer back now to Boss, who's got Jules for company. Jules will definitely be looking to see if he can pressure Boss into a mistake. Claim that 5th place and set off after Sean. Nightmare's having a bit of a lonely race now in 7th. Same for Monroe in 8th. He's got a big gap back to Cafe and myself. JC going purple in the 2nd sector. First sector, sorry. Need my fingers and toes to count sometimes. He's going well, JC. After the frustration of round 1, he's really trying to put that to bed here. You see Monroe diving into the pits. JC purple for sector 2 this time. Coolio trying to stay in touch. Stay with JC, see if he gets his fastest lap. Yep, it's JC with the fastest lap now, fastest lap on lap 7 and lap 8. I see Flapjack jumping back into the pit. It's already torn them tyres up. And you see Sean through. They can resume their battle from earlier in the race. Has Flapjack down to 4th now after his 2nd stop. Jules has got past Boss. Nightmare in 7th. Monroe has got Cafe breathing down his neck now. And just dropped off the back one there. JC holding the gap to Coolio quite well there. So the JB lads will be happy with Coolio's debut so far, running at the sharp end of the field. Sean's pulling away from Flapjack. Jules is catching. Sean can see that in his mirror. He'll be overjoyed if they start battling. Flapjack just struggling to keep the rear end of that car. Just in line there, coming round that quick right-hander. So these are quite twitchy cars. They wasn't everyone's cup of tea after round 1 in the wet. Doesn't look like round 2 is going to improve the opinion that much. Just a quick run through the grid. We have JC in first, Coolio running second, Mr. Sean in third, Flapjack in fourth, Jules in fifth, Boss in sixth, Nightmare in seventh, Cafe now in eighth past Monroe, Monroe in ninth, and myself down in 10th. Team leaders starting to gain on me. So lap me, hopefully we don't get too much in their way. As you see, JC is actually stretching the lead now away from Coolio. JC the 150.1 last time round. And Coolio was a 151.3. So with 12 minutes left, things are looking good for JC up in first to claim round 2. Now they can keep her on the black stuff. Mr. Sean in third. He is being caught by Flapjack. Jules must have had an incident. He's dropped off the back of Flapjack. Jules been on those older racing softs there. Flapjack not long pitted on much fresher racing super softs. Just the extra grip pulling away. Boss down in sixth. A little bit on his own there, trying to catch the pack in front. Nightmare Racer, one of the loneliest men on this circuit at the moment. Cafe stretching away from Monroe now in 8th, Monroe in 9th, and myself in 10th. So, looking at them tyres, JC is probably gonna pit once more. Alsace is not a tyre friendly place, and the handling on these cars doesn't help tyre wear either. We see Nightmare jumping into the pits. Yeah, but the same wear as JC has at the minute. He's had enough. Do the last 10 minutes on them tyres. 151.5. JC losing over a second on that last lap. Coolio still running consistent. Bit better tyre wear from JC. So he's where he's catching. See Cafe into the pits, ditching those softs. Comes out on a fresh set of softs. See will JC dive in. Remember he pitted earlier than Coolio on the first stop. Yeah, you can just see he's struggling to get turned in. Yeah, in he comes. Coolio goes through, back into the lead. JC with a fresh set of supers. He flapped Mr. Sean in behind. Oh, JC just cold tyres. There's camber on that corner there, and it just took him around. Always the worst accidents, the slow ones. See Jules and Boss jumping in. So that's Flapjack through. Past JC after his little spin there. Flapjack's tearing those tyres up as well. He's already done a second stop. Hopefully he can make them last, but it's going to be tight. He does let the car move around a bit with his driving style, so could well have to come back in again, but we'll have to see how that plays out. JC managed to hold off Sean, who's been in for a fresh set of super softs. fuel's not going to be a problem. They got more than enough to last the rest of this race. Boss has been in with another fresh set of supers. Held his 5th over. He's actually stole 5th back from Jules. Jules is on racing softs. They'll last to the end. Nightmare on super softs. He should last to the end. Cafe with a fresh set of softs. He's going to be running to the end on them. Monroe could be looking to pit again soon. As you see, Cudio dive in again, just go on that lap later. See if he gets back out in front. Just ahead of JC this time. See Flapjack's dive back in. It's his 3rd stop now, I believe. Sean up the 3rd, another great recovery drive from Sean. Just imagine what he can do if he can get that start nailed. Boss and Flapjack, 2 Pegasus teammates running line astern after Flapjack's passed. Last pit stop there, sorry. Yeah, no real drama between the teammates. Not gonna fight and ruin both their races. Jules looking to get back up on the back of Boss. See if he can get that 5th place back. Nightmare's closed up slowly, but he could be out of time unless those guys start battling in front. The only saving grace for him, really. See, Cafe is in the pits again. He's gone on to the super softs. Mustn't have liked them softs because there was minimal wear on them. See, Monroe really struggling. He's gonna have to come in and get some fresh boots on that car. Front end doesn't want to turn, back end wants to go around. He keeps going. See, I'm behind and I'm on the racing mediums. Cudio trying to build a gap up now to JC. Great drive from Cudio so far. He's had his strategy and stuck to it. It's paid out so far. Couple of incidents at the start, but it seems to be going well so far now for him. See Mr. Short all over the back of JC. He's got the inside for the next corner. Bit of door banging. JC might have had a bit of an issue there. Maybe thought Mr. Sean had gone off or something. He backed right out of that. You see Flapjack now pulling away from Boss, and Jules has got past Boss. Jules is up into 5th. Nightmare still in 7th on his lonely race. Cafe, the other lone racer. Unfortunately had what looked like controller issues or something there. Car was on AI for most of the first half. Really scuppered his race here. I'm into 9th after Monroe pitted. Monroe getting shown the blue flags. Just pulls over out the way, doesn't want to get involved. Great racing from Monroe. Mr. Sean chasing down Coolio now. Just coming up to 3 minutes left. Sean will just be looking to pile the pressure on the Coolio now, see if he can force him into a mistake. Coolio's got relatively fresh racing softs. Sean will have a slight grip advantage on his super softs. You see he's gaining on him, looks like every corner. It's nightmare bits. Obviously didn't want to do the last few minutes with not a lot of grip. Jump back to the leaders. See what the time split is. Less than a second between them. Looks like they're catching up with myself as well. I won't want to get involved in this. JC now in third. Flapjack in fourth. Boss back ahead of Jules. These two having a race-long battle. Jules just losing out maybe on tyre wear. He's struggling for grip on these cambered corners. Cafe in 8th. Myself in 9th. Just pulling right out of the way. Coming down to a coast to let the leaders through. Monroe in 10th. Coolio seems to be maintaining the gap now to Sean. Then this could possibly be the last lap for these two guys. Race is all settled down now, apart from these two, still nose to tail. Jules looking for a way past. Yeah, Boss goes defensive, just covers the inside line. Jules is looking to try and switch back. Boss has the inside line and just hangs Jules out there, but Jules is now going to have... He would have had the inside line, but he switches to the outside line. A beautiful move from Jules there, around the outside, just plants it and makes it stick. His tyres are the best. We now have Sean in the lead. Let's see how he's got there. Jump on board with Sean. He's still behind Coolio. Coolio's still got a gap there. Sean just gets a better exit there with his racing super softs. He's got far more grip through that left-hander. Coolio's just a sitting duck now. Sean's got the inside line. Takes it beautifully. Great move. Sean up into first. Sean stretched it out now over Coolio. It's going to be tight if this will be their last lap. 20 seconds left. These boys should make it round maybe for another lap. I'm normally wrong about most things, so no, this is probably going to be their last actually. Yep, that's it. Great recovery drive from Sean, great victory. Well done to him, top points for Neon Knights. Coolio in second. JC with a great race after the disappointment of round 1. Big handbrake over the line in third. Flapjack has had a pretty good race, struggled with his tyres. Takes fourth. Boss coming home in fifth. Jules in second. They've had a great battle all race, that pair. And Nightmare is going to come home in seventh. They have Cafe already finished in 8th. Myself already finished in 9th. And whoop, Monroe with no tyres left is going to finish in 10th. Thanks very much everybody. That was round 2. We'll see you next week for round 3.